friends, Krista here. Thanks for stopping by Books and Jams. It is time for another weekend reading vlog, and I'm so excited. I love filming these weekend reading vlogs every weekend, or every other weekend, I should say. It's just a fun way to feel like I'm recording a bit of my life, but also to show you the reality of the life of a bookworm and a booktuber, where some weekends are a lot of readings, some weekends are a lot of activity, and some are a good combination of both. And I'm hoping that this weekend is a good combination of both. It's Friday morning. I've just gotten up and started to get ready for the day. It's what, 8:55. I kind of let myself sleep in a little bit today. I don't have to leave for work until 11:30, so I thought I would just kind of get the vlog started and tell you what my reading plans are for the weekend, or kind of what I'm in the middle of. We'll see what I actually get up to. And yeah, just kind of get things kicked off. I have quite a few books on my radar for the weekend. So I'll just kind of tell you everything that I have started, and yeah, we'll go from there. So I have started Words of Radiance. I'm through part 1. And I'm really enjoying this. This is kind of back burner, not a priority. I haven't made progress in a couple days, so I'm hoping at some point to just listen to the audio a little bit. I like to listen to the audio and then kind of go back through. I don't tandem read because I often listen while I'm doing other things, but I like to go back through and look because there are some illustrations. So I just like to go back through and see some of the artwork that's in here because it's really cool. So this might happen a little bit this weekend. I also yesterday started the audiobook for The Women by Kristen Hanna because I just didn't want to wait anymore. We'll see how far I get in that, but I'm only about 8% in. I started it. The other day I picked up Murder Road from the library. This is on my TBR for the month for a NetGalley that's out of my comfort zone, or not my go-to genre, and this is definitely not my go-to genre. And yet I started it yesterday and I'm already 150 pages in, 125 pages in. Definitely am hooked. Have already been tempted to skim forward and see what's going on. That will definitely be finished this weekend because I just need to know. The other book that I'm making good progress in is The Hiding Place by Corrie ten Boom. Man, I'm loving this story. On Sunday evening, I have my conversation with some ladies about the first half of the book, and I have 2 more chapters to get to the point where we're going to talk about things on Sunday. So that should not be a problem. I love this engaging visual journey edition. It does have a lot of, I know the regular one has pictures too, but this just has a lot of pictures, as well as some pages that are quotes from the story. So I'm just really, really loving this, and I've already teared up once. But I have 2 more chapters of that to read this weekend for sure. I picked up yesterday from the library Everything Else in the Universe. I think I sold my copy on Pango. I think, because I can't find it. So I had to grab it from the library. This is for the middle grade March book club, which is on Wednesday coming up this next week. And so I need to read this again this weekend. This will be a reread for me. It will go pretty quickly. I might be able to find it on audio, but I think I looked already and I didn't really see it anywhere. So I'll probably read it in print, but it's middle grade. It'll go pretty quickly. It's not super long. And I already know that I liked it the first time, so I'm hoping that I like it again. And finally, as if 5 books is not enough, I have A Council of Dolls by Mona Susan Power. This is my Patreon pick for the month of May, and the audiobook on Everend was not available until today, the 10th. So I'm really excited. I'm going to go ahead and save that and possibly start listening to it. But I also am listening to Words of Radiance, The Women, and The Hiding Place. So I don't know that I need to start a 4th audiobook. I might wait till I'm at least caught up in The Hiding Place and a little bit farther in The Women. I don't know. I might wait on this one, but it's kind of on my pile for the weekend. So some of those will get read this weekend. I have some fun plans for tomorrow. I'm going to kind of wait until tomorrow to talk about that. So for now, it's 9 o'clock and I have until 11:15, 11:30. So I'm going to sit and read Murder Road for a little bit. I'm also going to answer some comments. And then I have 3 things I want to do this morning: vacuum, water the plants, and do the dishes. So that is my goal for the next 2 hours, to sit and read, answer some comments, and get those 3 things done. Anyways, just wanted to kick things off. I will check in later and kind of let you know how things are going and talk a little bit more about some of these books as I'm reading them. But for now, I'm going to sit and read. Hello, friends. As usual, I'm here in the line ready to pick up my little dude from school, and I'm just listening to a bit of the women. I'm up to 15%. Yay. It is pretty gory. So we follow a young girl whose brother has gone off to fight in Vietnam, and very early on they learned that he didn't make it. And she, before they learned that, I believe, had already signed up to go be a nurse in Vietnam as well. She went to nursing school, and she's very new, very green, doesn't know what she's doing. And when she gets there, it's just like she is thrown right into the midst of things. I'm definitely captivated by this story. Definitely, it's pretty gory. It doesn't hold back with not prisoners, casualties of war and injuries and all of that. Like, it's pretty in your face, but Kristen Hanna just can tell a good story, and I'm loving it. I did finish the dishes, and I did vacuum, and I did water my plants. So I got those 3 things done this morning, which I wanted to do. And I also finished the book of Job in the Bible. That was on my to-do list as well. I had forgotten. I wrote that on the mirror as well. So I finished the 4 things that I wanted to do, and I read up to 50% in Murder Road. So I got a little bit of reading done. Okay, it's not my normal read. It's a thriller. It's paranormal. There's a ghost, at least one, maybe more. Who knows? And we follow this couple who's headed to their honeymoon, and they're on this deserted road, and they pick up this girl that's on the side of the road. The girl had been stabbed, and they take her to the hospital, and then she dies, and they're accused of the murder. It turns out along this road, there have been a series of murders over the past 20 years or so, 6 different murders. So this couple has struggled in their lives. They seem to be a nice couple together. They seem to be good for each other. But there is this whole situation of how to find out more about this first girl, the lost girl. They're trying to figure out more about her story, and then hopefully that will help figure out the rest. Yeah, I'm invested. It has some language that I don't love, but I'm just so caught up in the story that I honestly don't notice all of it. So yeah, I'm into it. And that's all the reading I've got done today. It is now noon, and this line is about to move, so I'm gonna head out. I'll talk to you later.
I cutted the flowers.
We found some turtles. 2 big ones, and then a baby on the other log. How cool! So we normally do the rose garden at the end, and we will, but it's like so full of blooms right now, which is crazy because we haven't been here in 2 weeks, and it was practically empty, just starting to bud. And now there's like roses all over. I'll get better pictures of it in a little bit. Let's go up through. Shortcut.
Let's talk about those ones, Krista.
Oh yeah.
They're really gorgeous. Let me see if they're
Red light, stop. Just enjoying some time in the gorgeous rose garden. We cannot believe how many roses are out right now. It's crazy, and it's so beautiful, isn't it? And it smells so good. Awesome. It smells so awesome. All right, I am on my way home from work and I made myself a little stop for dinner because it's Friday. And so I got some Little Caesars pizza. Actually, I saw a TikTok or like an Instagram reel of somebody trying these crazy puffs and they looked amazing and the guy loved them. So I'm like, well, I need to try them. And then I'm on a Marco Polo with my cousins and my cousin Beth was like yesterday picking up Italian cheese bread for herself for dinner. I said, ooh, that sounds good too. So I picked up some crazy puffs and some Italian cheese bread for dinner today. Dinner of champions. So I'm headed home and I don't have any plans tonight. I need to walk, but it's kind of rainy. So I'll probably do a video, just the walking video, something simple, because I did not do a workout this morning. So I'm just going to do a little walking video tonight, but I do have some reading time and possibly some screen time, like watching a show and getting caught up on some other things, I guess. We'll see. But yeah, I'm excited for this Little Caesars because it smells so good. So first up, home for dinner. It is 8:10 and it just took me way too long to set up the lives for the hiding place on Sunday. I don't know why it took me so long to make those thumbnails, but it really did. That's annoying because I haven't done any reading yet. I haven't done exercise yet. I haven't changed out of my work clothes, anything. I've done nothing except the lives are set up for Sunday, and that's major. I needed to get that done today. So I'm on sprints with Hannah, the teacher's TBR. Her first sprint is ending in 4 minutes. So during the next sprint, I'm absolutely going to read, but during the chat time, I think I'm going to do like a little walking video. I might put a walking video on my phone so that I can kind of follow along what they're doing in the video, but also listen and listen to Hannah and like participate in the chat a little bit as well. So that way I can like double duty, get a little movement in. I'm trying to do a little bit better about getting my exercises in, or like moving for 30 minutes a day is kind of the goal. My brother is challenging me to try to get 7,000 steps a day. I don't always do that, and it's kind of hard. So, and I'm only at 5,000 right now. So I'm going to stand up. I'm going to go get my sneakers back on, and I am going to go ahead and walk, like do a little walking business. Leslie Sansone has walk from home videos on YouTube. They're called Walk From Home, I think. And it's just like a 1 or 2 mile walk. And it does like kickbacks and little kicks and knees, like high knees, basically. And it just makes it a little bit more fun than just walking in place for that long. Then during the next sprint, I'm going to read Murder Road. Oh, I also, while I was eating, I watched 2 episodes of The Traitors, or I watched 1.5. I was like halfway through one. The Traitors, the UK version of The Traitors. I've now completed both seasons of the American version, 1 season of Australia, and now I'm watching 1 season of the UK. They're super emotional in the UK. I'm surprised how often so many of them were crying during this season. We're very close to the end. So I watched a little bit of TV to kind of like unwind, but I'm going to go ahead and go get my sneakers and get ready, get a video ready so that I can walk during the next chat break. All right, friends, it's time for me to go to bed. It's only 10:15, but for some reason I'm just really tired. So I might listen to a little bit of a book on my way to sleep. But I did read quite a bit more in Murder Road, but it was getting a little bit creepy, so I set this one down. I am at page 215, and I think there's like 339, so I just have a little bit over 100 pages left to go. Definitely will finish this tomorrow. And I also finished the 2 chapters that I need to for The Hiding Place, so I'm all set for Sunday. I'm really excited. This is so good. Yeah, today was a good day. I'm just tired. So off to bed I go, 10:15. I will probably listen to a little bit more of The Women tonight. That is the plan. So good night. I'll see you in the morning. Good morning, friends. It is Saturday and I am just getting out of bed. I'm about to I came in here to do a workout. My brother gave me 3 workouts, 3 strength training workouts to do each week, and today is a full body circuit. So I'm about to get that done. out of the way for the day. I said earlier that I have plans for Saturday, but I personally don't know what those plans are yet. This month, May, I am doing every day in May over on my Patreon, and I just realized when I woke up that I forgot to post yesterday. So yesterday's the first day that I missed, but my goal is to post something every day in the month of May. And earlier this week, I gave my patrons a list of 10 different things, and they were to vote for whichever things they wanted me to do during my weekend vlog. So today, on Saturday, I said I would just pick the 3 top items in that list, and that's what I would do today. So I don't know yet what it is, because I told them I was going to try not to look. I think I looked once, like that first night that I posted it, just to make sure that the poll was working. So on the list were things like thrift store, yard sale, bookstore, go for a walk somewhere new, go to a movie that's playing Unsung Hero I would love to see, so I put that on there. There's 5 more things. I don't even remember what they all are. We're gonna look together and see what they picked. Here we go. You get to choose. Oh my goodness. Okay, so yard sales has 14, thrift stores, little free libraries. So far, that's up there. Of this first few, that's the highest. Go walk outside in a new place, 22. That is up there. And then 25. Okay, so these are the 3 things. I'm going to do some little free libraries. I might try to go to a different neighborhood and do that. And then an outside walk in a new place. I'm going to have to do some research. And try one of my saved recipes on Instagram. Fun. I might look at that with you now and make a grocery list, because I'm just interested in doing all of this right now. Okay, that's fun. It's supposed to be a gorgeous day today. It's only going to be in the 60s and like partly cloudy, partly sunny. I think it'll be a really nice day to go outside and go for a walk. I just don't know. I didn't have any place in mind that I've been thinking I wanted to try. But if I go somewhere a little bit different to do some little free libraries, maybe there's something in that area, like a little park or something with some trails. I don't know. So we will explore that, but I also think I can check my Instagram. Okay, so I found right on here on my laptop where my saved items are for Instagram, and I have a whole little folder here called recipes that when I see something yummy, I just put it in here, but I've never tried any of these. So we're gonna look through and see what I've got. I'm not doing sweets right now, so I'm gonna skip that cheesecake. This is some kind of tortilla thing here. That looks good. 30-minute busy mom dinner. That looks good. Look at those little cheese. I think those are cheesy roll-up things. This is another cheesy. Oh, there's broccoli. I do have broccoli I need to use up. What is this broccoli one? Maybe I'll do this. Oh, broccoli and rice. Cream of chicken soup I've got. Rice I've got. Chicken stock, I've got that, or like chicken broth. Stir that around. Chicken breasts, I don't have, but I could go get some. 3 chicken breasts that look scored. Put some salt, pepper, some, was that lemon? And then broccoli. Chunks of broccoli, onion soup mix. I have that too. Okay. Cover it with foil. I've got most of those things, so that's great. I would just need to get some chicken. Cook it. I'll have to go and get the actual directions. Put some cheese on top, put it back in. Okay, that looks delicious. Chicken, broccoli, rice, casserole. Doesn't look super duper healthy, but that's an option. Let's see what else is in there, actually. I just want to scroll and see what else is here. This is some kind of dip. Yum. Those roll-ups look good. Oh, the Christmas tree roll thing. It's another bread twisty thing. Some cookies that look delicious. Sweets I don't want to do. Oh, this one has broccoli too in a red sauce. What's this one? Low carb chicken parm bake. Ooh, okay. All you need is chicken, salt and pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, broccoli, marinara, and mozzarella. Oh, that looks good too. And it's lower carb, but doesn't have the rice and like the cream of chicken. That's an option. Let's just see. This one also has broccoli. Clearly I like low carb chicken Alfredo break. Chicken, salt and pepper, garlic, yeah, Alfredo sauce. So it's basically the same thing, only with Alfredo instead of sauce. I like when they say the name right on them, like this chicken burrito casserole. Actually, let's look that. Tomato or pepper. Oh, that looks good too. Shredded chicken, some corn, some cheese on top. Okay, that looks good. Everything I'm choosing so far has chicken in it, which is kind of what I'm craving, so that's fine. This looks like it's sweets. I'm not sure what that guy's doing here. Potato soup, protein-packed Tuscan chicken pasta. I don't know what all these are. It's hard to decide when I can't tell what they are. Okay, so we're gonna try the chicken broccoli rice casserole, which is super basic, but I love it, and I don't have a recipe that I use for one, so I'll try that one. Now I need to get my workout in, and then I will go ahead and look up an area that might have some little free libraries and a path to walk. So that's what I'm gonna do this morning. I will hop back on later. I will say last night I did finish the 2 chapters I needed in Hiding Place. I don't know if I got back on to say. I did finish my Hiding Place chapters, and I did get halfway into Murder Road, and I listened to quite a bit more of the women last night as well. So it was a good reading day yesterday, if nothing else. All right, I'm gonna get going, working out. Hello, friends. It is now 10:40, and I am dressed and ready for the day, and I have decided where I'm gonna go walk. So there's a path along the river called Pony Pasture that people have told me about, and I've just never been there. And I feel like it might be a good place to take my little dude when he wants to go for a hike. So I'm going to go check it out today. It's not going to be gardens or anything beautiful like that, but it's along the river, I think, for part of it. And I think the trails are nice and wide. And from what I've heard, it's a really nice place to go for a walk. And it's pretty popular, which I like, because that means other people will be around. It's not going to be super secluded. So I'm going to go check that out today. And I'm not convinced what I picked from Instagram is going to be what I want to eat. So I may look again at the recipes that I've saved. I'll just decide while I'm out. But I did check on the Little Free Libraries app, and there are a bunch of Little Free Libraries over in the area where I'm going to go to try a new trail. So here we go. Oh, also, I just read up to page 250 almost in Murder Road. And I'm so close to the end that I may just sit for a few more minutes and finish. I have about 50 pages, but it shouldn't take me very long. It's very, very fast paced. I'm just very curious how this is all gonna wrap up. So I do need to post on my Patreon because I forgot yesterday after saying that I'm doing every day on here on my clips, and then I just missed a day. I woke up this morning and I was like, oh shoot. I just got doing those sprints last night and was settled in reading, and I forgot to post on Patreon. Boo. I'm a little bummed that I forgot that. So I'm going to post on Patreon today and this morning before I go, and try to finish Murder Road before I head out. So that's the plan. So I'm at the new park that I wanted to check out. It does walk right along the river, and there are light rapids. So there was a boat launch when I first parked. There's a nice parking lot, and people could do beginner level rapids here. I don't know how far down it goes, so we're gonna see, but this trail is like the most woodsy, and then there's one that's a little wider, and then there's one that's like almost like a road. So I'm just kind of exploring, walking around. There's people biking. I haven't seen anybody out on the water yet, but it's just a beautiful, like really nice place to walk. And you can hear the water. So it's so peaceful. It's really peaceful. So I'm just gonna walk around a bit, see what it's like. I think this would be a great place. There's lots of boulders to climb on and logs to climb over. My little dude would love this place so far. I think it's good. It's a hit. So I came up onto the wider path for this part. This is called the creek part of the trail, I guess. But it does say that it goes to the parking lot. So I'm wondering if it's just like a big loop. I really don't know. But it's a beautiful day for a hike. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So I'm just sitting by the river for a few more minutes. I made a big loop, apparently. I came out of the woods into a parking lot that looked so similar to the one where I parked, but I didn't feel like I had made any turns. So I was like, how is that possible? But it's because it made a big loop. So it was perfect because it's like a mile and a half. This is definitely a great place to bring my little dude. He will love it so much. And there's only a couple places that get really close to the river, but people were like in the water and a lot of sandy places as well, a lot of rocks to kind of climb over. Yeah, he will lose his mind. This is a great place to bring him, and a great place for me to come again because there were so many people here. Like, I never felt unsafe. The path, the gravel path was nice and wide. The path through the trees and stuff closer to the river was a little narrower, and I showed quite a bit of that, but there was always people. I was passing people, or there was people down by the river. There was a couple like remains of campfires that people had. So it's a super popular park apparently, and the parking is free. I will definitely be back. So thank you, patrons, for giving me the push that I needed to try out this trail, because I've been wanting to for a while and I just haven't done it. So now I have, and I know that I love it. Next up on the agenda from my patrons' pick choice in the poll is little free libraries. So I checked over on this side of town and there are quite a few, but I need to cool down, drink some water. I brought myself an apple because I had a really late breakfast, and it is lunchtime right now. It's like 12:58 or 48 or something. Time for some little free libraries though. Let's go see what's over here. I do have a box of books to unhaul, so I'll add some to the libraries, especially if they're low. Fill them right up and see what I might find. We'll see. This one's tricky because there's no parking on the road, but it's cute. Look at that owl and a little light. Be kind. Looks like a lot of children's books, so I brought a couple children's books too. Okay, nothing that I needed in that one. It's a little tricky, and cars did go by while I was parked here. I didn't think anybody would, but yikes. This next one is back in this cute little neighborhood. I've never been back here before. It's so cute. It's like a little birdhouse. And there's chalk for kids to write if they want. Let's see. I'm gonna have to move things around because I'm adding 4 books. Again, nothing that I needed, but it's super cute and I get to explore a new neighborhood, which is always fun. I just mapped out a little route using the Little Free Libraries app, and I have about 6, I think, little free libraries that will land me close to a Trader Joe's. So I will go there to pick up a few things and then home to cook something because I'm starting to get a little hungry. I didn't eat my apple yet, so I'm gonna eat that now as I drive around, but we'll see. Gonna unload some more books. Let's go. I don't see anything in here yet. I love a surprise box. This one just wasn't on my list, but I was driving past and I saw it. So of course I have to stop and see what's in it. Amy Polar. Ooh, an Alan Gratz book. That's good. I think I have that one though. So in Love. Tree Grows in Brooklyn. Okay, nothing that I need, but I'm adding a couple to it. Little library for little readers. So I think I only have one middle grade left. I will put it in here. This is the teeniest one I've seen yet. It's so cute. Just a little teeny tiny. I'm just putting 2 more books in there. Oh, Beverly Cleary, that's cute. I see Book of Mormon in almost all of them. Someone's walking around doing what I'm doing, only adding the Book of Mormon in there. All right, again, nothing for me, but it's so cute. Here's the other one. Okay, last one. Little Free Library. It's a mess in there. Can't even tell what's in there, so I might have to clean it up a bit, but I did find 2 more to add to the pile. Well, that looks better. I didn't totally organize it, but it looks much better, and it's easier to see that there's not just all kids books in here. There's some other things too. Much better. And I did find a couple books for the little dude. All right, I think that is it for Little Free Libraries and me. I'm hungry. I need to go home and make something to eat. It's probably not the best idea to go to a grocery store right now, but I'm very, very close to Trader Joe's, so I'm gonna. I did pick up Sabriel. I think this is the first in a fantasy series by Garth Nix. Yeah, Garth Nix. I'm not sure I'm going to keep it, but I just grabbed it because it's in good condition. I also picked up this nonfiction. If You Find This Letter, My Journey to Find Purpose Through Hundreds of Letters to Strangers by Hannah Brencher. That just sounds really fun. And then I picked up a couple for the kiddos that I watch. So I have I Spy Animals. I have Hoot and Peep. I have The Fleas Sneeze. My little dude that I watch loves books that make him laugh, so I feel like a couple of those will be good. 1 or 2, I can't remember now, of the places that I stopped at, there was no Little Free Library, but I did find 2 surprise ones, so it all evens out in the end. I'm really, really proud of myself for not just grabbing things willy-nilly and adding them to my shelves. And didn't really find anything other than those 2 at this last one that I was even remotely interested in. And I'm still not sure about Sabriel, so we'll see. I certainly don't need to start another series, and I certainly have plenty of other things on my shelves that I'm very interested in, so I probably don't really need it. It might just make its way right straight to my Pango pile, but we'll see. But now I need gas in my car and food in my belly, so let's go over to Trader Joe's. Hey friends, I am sitting outside for a little bit because I needed to move out of my chair. After going to Trader Joe's and getting the shopping done that I needed to do, I came home fully intending to cook. I decided on a different recipe, but I'll tell you about that tomorrow because I got a headache and I just spent an hour and a half, 2 hours in a dark room, kind of resting my eyes. I watched the rest of the Traders, but I just needed to keep the lights off and relax for a little bit. I mean, I also talked to my mom during that time period, but I didn't read anything else or do anything else until just a little bit ago. But I just finished posting for my patrons today, but I came outside because I do want to read tonight. And so I'm going to be picking up everything else in the universe since I need to read this for Wednesday. So this is my big read of the evening. I think it might start raining. I think I just was hearing, I don't have my glasses on, so I can't see. I'm keeping the phone at this weird angle because I don't want the number of my house in the video, in the clip. I do think it's starting to sprinkle. So I'm not sad about that if a little bit of rain comes. It's a bit windy, so if it gets too windy, I'd have to go back inside. But for right now, it's really nice out. So I'm just gonna sit outside and read for a few minutes. and listen to the start of this rain. My headache did go away mostly. It's still just a tinge in there, but mostly it's gone, so that's good. I'll check in later. I read about 60 pages of Everything Else in the Universe. I'm about a quarter of the way through it. I'll definitely finish tomorrow, but I just am in the mood for a show. So I put on Death of the Nile. I rented it on Amazon. I probably could have found it somewhere else, but I didn't even look. I probably should have looked. But I'm watching Death on the Nile, the one with Kenneth Branagh as Poirot. That's what I'm going to do tonight, for a little while anyway. We gotta start it over.
See, I forgot about the song and I was starting it.
Now do example.
So I decided to change up which of the recipes I wanted to try and go for the Tuscan chicken pasta that is like high protein. The main reason is right here. I've been wanting to try cottage cheese in a different way. I'm not someone who likes cottage cheese, and I wanted to see if this cottage cheese sauce would be any good. So I went through my reels again that I had saved and found this recipe and got all the things that I needed, and this is what I decided to make. I will put the link to this person's Instagram, and also I will put the recipe that I used and any changes that I made when I cooked it. I'll put all that in the description for you. Okay, the time has come to make the food that I saw on Instagram. I decided to do the Tuscan chicken high protein riggies. So I have sun-dried tomatoes. This is Italian seasoning and the minced garlic. This is the grated Parmesan. All those things I needed to measure I got ahead of time. I've got a pan getting ready to boil for water to put the rigatoni in, and this oil is heated up. I'm gonna go ahead and cook the chicken. Okay, this is the part that's a little, I'm not sure how this is gonna taste because I've never actually used cottage cheese because I don't really care for it, but the recipe called for 3/4 cups of cottage cheese and then 1/4 cup of sauce. I don't have the fancy Rouse sauce, which I know is the best. But we're gonna see if this actually works. I'm pretty pleased with that. It's definitely smooth like sauce and it smells cheesy. So we're gonna try it. I think I might add just a tiny bit more red sauce to it to make it a little bit more red. I should have started this water a little bit sooner. I'm still waiting for it to boil, but it's getting there. It's close. Meanwhile, the chicken is nearly all cooked. I'm just gonna give it another minute And then I'm going to add the spices in there and the tomatoes. I'm going to go watch the video again in the meantime and make sure I remember all the steps. Okay, ready to add the noodles. I did add a little bit more. It's supposed to be only 6 ounces of noodles. I did about 10 ounces of noodles, and also the grated cheese. The reserved pasta water. We're gonna stir that around. She did say on the video to turn off the heat at this point because when we add the cottage cheese mixture, we don't want the cottage cheese to curdle. So I turned the heat off so it can start to cool. Just gonna stir that around a little bit. Let that cheese get a little melty. Oh my word, it looks delicious to me already, even without the sauce. Looks good. I'm gonna go ahead and add about a cup of spinach. My fancy measuring here, just a handful. I'm just gonna sprinkle that in. Looks about good. And I'm just gonna stir this in and let it start to wilt before we add the sauce for the last step. All right, there we have it, finished product. Very cheesy. I might add a little more red sauce when I reheat this. I made enough to make lunches for the week as well. And here's my little bowl. Time for the moment of truth. I have a chicken and a spinach and a pasta on here. Those are really good. Very cheesy. That's delicious. I can't really tell that it's cottage cheese in the sauce. I just would probably make the sauce a little bit more red, like add more pasta sauce to it. The jar that I used was empty though, and I didn't want to open a new one. So that's the only change I would make, but it's delicious. Yay, time for lunch. So I brought myself out for a walk. It's just such a beautiful day and I couldn't sit inside the whole day. So I'm gonna go for a little walk. I'm listening to the women and I'm so annoyed because there was a cheating storyline for the first 30% of the book. And now there's another guy and he's engaged too. I'm like, come on. What is it with a cheating storyline? I hate it so much. Is this gonna be a Kristen Hanna book that I don't love? I'm sad about that. Oh my word, it is 7 o'clock. Where has this day gone? I went for a nice walk. I did 2 laps around this little park and it was about a 2-mile total, which was really nice. It's just so beautiful outside today. And then I had to get gas in my car for the week because I was on E. And then I came home and I have been doing stuff for Patreon and for Hiding Place tonight. I found a few discussion questions and sent a few questions to the ladies that are going to be on with me and the link to them. I got some gift cards for my patrons because there was a little giveaway today. So I got that taken care of. And now I'm going to get ready for the Hiding Place. I'm going to go change out of this shirt because I feel kind of grubby and I want to look nice for tonight. And I also just uploaded all of the little clips so far from this weekend. Guys, raw footage without editing anything already is at 1 hour and 10 minutes. I am not putting out a 1 hour and 10-minute vlog. A lot of that is just like when I'm at the gardens on Friday, I just take lots of little clips of things and then I shorten it to be a little overview. Same thing with the little free libraries that I did yesterday. There's a lot of clips of that which will be able to be shortened. but that is a long amount of time. Oh my word. So I will get started editing today. I don't normally start editing until tomorrow when I'm at nap time, but I'm just going to get started today because good grief, an hour and 10 minutes already, and the day is not even over yet. So anyways, I don't know how far percentage wise I'm in the women, maybe 50% or almost 50%. The girl we've been following who went to Vietnam because she was kind of following her in her brother's footsteps, she is back home now after 2-year-long commitments that she was over there. There's a lot that I really like about this book. The time of the Vietnam War was so volatile here in the United States. Like, the draft had been implemented. A lot of soldiers also volunteered to go over. A lot of people stood behind the cause, but there were so many people who were protesting the war. And when veterans came home, when soldiers came home, they were really treated so poorly. So that was displayed in this book when she came off of her flight and was in her full dress uniform. Like, people were spitting at her and screaming at her. And it just was it's so frustrating to read about, especially thinking about the draft. Like, a lot of these soldiers didn't even have a choice. Like, they just had to go and they're just following orders. But it was really a horrible, horrible situation in general. And the girl that we follow, Frankie, her eyes were really open. She grew up, it was almost like a coming of age story for her. She went over so naive and very sheltered in her privileged life, and her eyes were opened, and she became a combat nurse, and she cared for these men and women, men mostly, boys sometimes, that she was caring for, as well as Vietnamese villagers, young kids, babies. Like, it just was horrifying. All of the things, as it would be in any war, but in particular, so much of what we saw in Vietnam seemed to be so senseless. So I understand the emotion is just super high. What I don't love about this book, is that for the first 25-30%, I think I mentioned this when I was walking, for the first 25-30% of the book, there was a relationship that was straight cheating. And it was like openly, like the guy had a wife at home and they talked, like, it just was so frustrating. Nothing physical happened in their relationship, but there was so much emotion. I try to, like, put myself in that position. Emotions are high anyway. You're seeing all of this intense stuff every day. And so you're going to be drawn to people who are giving you the support that you need at that time. However, so many soldiers go to war and don't cheat on their spouses at home. Like, it's possible to do. It's possible to find your strength and your support in other places besides a relationship outside of marriage. Like, in intimate, not necessarily sexually intimate, but it was intimate. Like, they were sharing things, they were supporting each other, they were expressing love. Like, it just was so irritating to me. It was so irritating to me. And so then when a second relationship popped up that looked like it was headed in that direction too, I'm like, come on, Kristen Hannah, what are you doing here? I was going to be really mad. And I'm still not positive that it's not a cheating relationship. But now there has been sexual intimacy as well. He did say that he broke off his engagement, but I'm not sure if I trust him. So we'll see. We'll see where that's going to go. But I'm just a little disappointed regardless that is part of the story, because it's not necessary. There's already so much that's good about this story. Still, Kristen Hannah draws me right in. I've welled up with tears a couple times. There have been some emotional scenes, and I don't feel like, I know some people talk about being emotionally manipulated. I cry very easily, so I don't notice if I'm being manipulated. But I think, like, she's portraying war and the Vietnamese War, which is already jam-packed with emotions, no matter which way you come at it, whether you're biased towards the peace side of things and like the protesters and the hippie side of things, or a soldier side of things, which is what we're like, that's the view we're coming from in this book. So there's just a lot, but there's no excuse for like spitting at soldiers when they come home from war. But even the government, like, they would get you back into the States, but then you would have to pay for your own transportation to get all the way to your house. Your flight was covered, but in order to get home, you have to take a taxi or a train or whatever. Like, that part you're responsible for all on your own. There's just so many things. And then all the PTSD, which we haven't even gotten to. So I'm only like halfway through the book. So we'll see where it's going to go from here. I am really liking it for the most part, except for the whole adultery situation. All right, I need to go change my clothes and get ready for hiding place discussion tonight. And I'm going to sit, I have a few minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and sit and read a little bit more of Everything Else in the Universe. I did read a little bit more this afternoon. I am at page 85, so about a third of the way in, which is good. All right, I will check in later. Friends, it is now Tuesday morning, and I have not finished editing this vlog. I'm very close to finishing, and I realized when I was putting in the last clips that I did not do a wrap-up clip. So here I am, Tuesday morning, wet hair. I'm just getting ready for the day. It's almost 9 o'clock, and I'm just going to wrap up my reading from the weekend. It was such a good weekend. A lot of different things in the vlog, a new place to hike, some little free libraries, a recipe that will be linked in the description. And at the beginning, I talked about quite a few books that I was hoping to get to at some point over the weekend. So the first two I did not read at all. A Council of Dolls and Words of Radiance. Those are on my agenda for this week, but I didn't touch them over the weekend. Two more I made progress in. I have 2 copies here of one of them, but Everything Else in the Universe I need to finish today because our middle grade March book club is tomorrow night, Wednesday night. I'm on page 94 and there's like 250-ish pages. So should be very doable. I'm looking forward to finishing that. And I did get caught up to where I needed to be on Sunday for the hiding place. I'm actually listening to it, but both of these have different pictures. So I'm kind of flipping through the chapters as I read them or after I listen to them so that I can see the pictures and illustrations and things. I am highlighting in this one because this is the one that I'm mainly focusing on. I'm highlighting some quotes and marking it up a little bit. Not a lot. I'm not an annotator, but I know this one's staying on my shelves. Actually, probably both of them will because I absolutely love this book. If you're unfamiliar with The Hiding Place and you're not participating in my read-along, this is a memoir, a nonfiction memoir of Corrie ten Boom, whose family lived in the Netherlands at the start of World War II. Well, they lived there forever. But so at the first half of the book, we really get a backstory about the family and the setup of their home and who lives there. And then a little bit into as Nazis come and occupy the Netherlands, how that starts to affect their family and they begin to get involved with the resistance. The story is that they're going to get caught and sent to concentration camps. And where does it go from there? That's all going to be in the second half of the book. It's a powerful read. They are a Christian family, so there's a lot of emphasis on trusting in God and relying on God. And the father is just so full of wisdom, and the mom too. Like, this family is just remarkable. Their strength of character and the values that they hold to, like, it's a challenging and really impactful read. And also very readable. Like, I did not want to put it down when I was listening to it. I just wanted to keep going because it's very readable. So I would highly recommend, if you've not picked up The Hiding Place, it's kind of like a Christian classic. It's been around for a while, and it's a really powerful read. So I would recommend reading that, and I'm looking forward to continuing that. Our final discussion will be next Sunday. So I have to finish that over the next few days as well. And then I do have 2 that I finished. I did finish Murder Road first on Saturday and really enjoyed this. I don't know why I love Simone St. James so much. She's just such a good storyteller and she captivates me with her stories. I don't normally love paranormal and all of her books have ghosts in them. I don't get it. It's very, there are jump scares. There are intense moments for sure. But for some reason, for me, it doesn't cross over into like too scary or nightmare territory. It's not usually spiritual in any way. So we're not talking like demonic influence. and the ones I've read so far, which I appreciate because that's just a little too real for me. So I don't prefer those kind of books at all. But if you're looking for a ghosty, thrillery book that doesn't have a lot of graphic language, there are a few times in this one where the name of Jesus is used as a curse word, and I don't love that, but there's not other curses in here. It's not a lot of F-bombs or whatever, at least that I even remember. But I do get caught up in the story, so there may have been a few that I glazed over, but I did, every time she used the name of Jesus as a swear, I was like, I didn't like that. And it happened like 4 or 5 times. So there is that, but the story of this, if you don't know, there's a couple who's on their honeymoon. They're traveling to this little cabin resort place, I think in Michigan, I want to say. I don't even remember. And they find themselves on this out of the way road outside of a small town that's actually nowhere near where they're going to stay. But on the road, they see a hitchhiker or a woman who's on the side of the road. It's at nighttime, and so they pull over and offer to give her a ride. It turns out she had been stabbed, and they drive her straight to the hospital, and she dies. And so this couple becomes suspect in the case of this young girl. Turns out a number of other people have been murdered along this road, and they're all cold cases. Like there's nothing that really connects them. The police and the detectives involved are having a really hard time trying to figure it out. And this couple, both with their own baggage from the past, get involved with the case. And I really loved it. I really loved it. I think I gave it 4 stars. 4.5. I don't even know what I rated it, but loved that one. And then the other book that I finished was The Women by Kristen Hanna. This is a well-loved, newest release by Kristen Hanna. And it's set in the Vietnam War era, which I think is so important. We get a really good in-depth glimpse of what it might have been like to be in Vietnam during the war. I know Kristen Hanna did tons and tons of interview, in particular with women and nurses who were over in Vietnam, and got a really well-rounded perspective of what it was like to live there, what it smelled like, what it felt like, what the atmosphere was like, what the action was like that they saw. Like it just was super, super intense. And I loved all of that side of things. I did not like the romance side of things in this book, which it does kind of become a big part of it, but it's not focused on that. Really, this book is about the Vietnam War and what it was like to be there, and then what it was like to come home. The whole second half of the book is when this nurse is done with her 2 tours. She stays for 2 tours, 2 years in Vietnam. And when she comes home, what that was like, in particular as a woman, because it's just horrifying how soldiers were treated when they first came home. The peace protests often turned a little bit more violent. Soldiers were spit at, mocked, had things thrown at them as they were coming off of the planes. Like it just was really, really horrible how soldiers were treated when they first came home by civilians, by their families, by the government, by the VA office. Constantly this young woman was told, oh, women were not in Vietnam. And so she's dealing with all this PTSD from what she experienced and has no way to help her get through it. And so as in typical Kristen Hanna fashion, there's a lot that happens to this young woman, a lot. And it's very intense and very emotional. And oh man, it really was eye-opening. When I finished this book, I immediately called my mom. I was like, Mom, my mom was a teenager at this time. So I was like, what do you remember? What was that like? So I had a conversation with my mom about that and learned that one of my uncles was at Kent State, which was one of the places where people died. Like there was a big riot and people died, and my uncle was injured in that situation. I'm like, oh my word, I didn't even know that. I need to have a conversation with my uncle. So while I really loved this, I cannot give it 5 stars because I really, really did not like the 2 main relationships. I loved the friendship. Oh my goodness. There's 2 women that were also nurses over there, and we saw their friendship begin and then carry on through decades. And I absolutely loved the friendship. There's so much that I loved about this. So I'm giving it 4 stars. 4, maybe even 4.5. But if you can handle an adultery storyline, this might be a 5-star for you. It was really, really good. It was really good. I just love Kristen Hanna, but it was hard. It was hard. Don't get me wrong. It was a hard read. Holy moly. So that's it. That's what I read this weekend, and you've seen everything else that I did this weekend. I need to wrap this up and get it out to you. Hope that you grabbed a drink and a snack first, because this is a long one, folks. Thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me today. I look forward to chatting with you in another video very soon. Bye.